And I know this sounds quite a big chunk, but...
Sorry, so all the job files now got listed in the goals and the purpose at the start of the job file?
It's to encourage all of the PMs and the team leaders to talk about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but it's there at the start now, because it wasn't there before. I think it was years ago when I first started Nexa, but then it must have disappeared in the annals of time. But now it's there front and centre at the start of the job file again. As of how long ago? Just a few days ago or something, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good.
Fantastic. That's amazing, yes.
Sorry?
Yeah, I quite agree with everything that's been said so far, and I think it's really important to bring the team leader into the big picture. I just want to pick everyone else's brain on how do you actually get that through to the rest of the team, because obviously we speak more with the team leader, and how would you ensure that the team leader actually passes on to the developers and the rest of the team? Would you have everyone call and explain your big picture to everyone at the same time, or how do we deal with the fact that there is an intermediate, which is the team leader, to the rest of the team, and then some of the communication might be lost in translation?
Absolutely, yeah.
What I would do is, together with the team leader, identify measures for success for those outcomes and have agreed targets for those, and have the team leader communicate those agreed targets to the team so that they're not just getting the message of you need to add this module and do it within these hours. They're getting you need to achieve this outcome which will deliver the result that the client will see as success.
Can I take that further?
Yeah, but I mean, before you give the target, you basically enroll people into your environment. So while you're extending your environment, and when you're taking the team leader into the big picture and so they can understand the project, you also need to make sure the rest of the team understands the project. You can actually give the target.
Can I make a...
G's saying things get lost in translation.
Okay, so the distinction here is between management and leadership, yeah? I know you're all accomplished project managers. The term that we coined, thanks to the last training we did, was project leadership. So you have team leaders around that look after these various areas. What would be great would be for you, project leader, to start the project by running something like this, where you have the whole team there. You explain the vision, the outcomes, the values, the standards. You explain that to everyone, and then it's up to the team leaders to manage the steps and the details within that process.
That's the idea I was trying to...
Absolutely, yeah.
If really the leader, then it's going to get lost in translation, and the people actually doing the job are the developers, not necessarily the team leader. So I think we need to enroll everyone from the top.
You're spot on. The purpose of leadership there is to impact, inspire, and influence. You should be talking in environment language. So this is where we're going. This is how we're going to get there. This is what it looks like, tastes like, feels like as the end result. Here's what you're going to need to bring to make that happen. Here's the standards that we expect from you, from everyone. Explain everything in environment. So vision, mission, values, standards, expectations, outcomes, goals.
So like a stakeholder matrix with the roles and responsibilities, is that what you're trying to...
Well, yeah, I mean, you would be speaking in the whole why we're doing this area. And then the what and the how, you will defer to your team leaders and speak there. If you're coming from actual leadership speaks in why and big picture. So if you can brief the whole team on the project around that and get really, really good at that, you're going to solve a lot of problems before they occur. And you're going to get a lot of opportunities as well that wouldn't usually be there, because people are now thinking about what you're actually producing rather than just the task that they've got to do.
And this probably doesn't apply as much anymore, but when I've had really great success with getting the rest of the team really inspired in the project is when I was able to actually get them into the initial meeting with the client, because why project managers have that personal connection to the project and why we want the best outcome possible, and it's really a personal project to us, is because we meet with the client face to face, and when somebody hasn't met the client, they don't really have a stake in it. It's their job. They just get in, they get a task, they do it. They don't want to do it, but they just do it. With you, you're there, you have a personal relationship with the client, and that's why you want to deliver it. And say, for one of my latest projects that just gone live, Lindy, I've had the head of our design team in the meeting, I've had the head of our social media and our developer in that meeting as well. And every one of those had a personal stake in there. So the head of the design department, she was able to communicate it down to the designer about how important this project is, what she needs to achieve, and she knew exactly what needed to be done. Same with the development team. They were actually all talking to the client as well. So now it's a bit changed since we're doing more packages rather than custom, so it might not be that possible to get the designer in there as well, but I don't know if you still can maybe conference in the team leader. If you already know who's going to be helping you out with the project, you might be able to conference them in as well, because if they start that conversation straight away, that project is not a number anymore to them, it's a personalized project to them.
Okay, can I take that further? So with this, that is great if you can logistically get everyone in the room with your client. You'll get more buy-in. So it's not necessarily sustainable and scalable, because for every client you've got, you can't bring the whole team in to inspire them that way. So in an ideal world, you bring the whole team in and they'd meet with the client, and the client would say, this is my story, my name's Barry, I have a bricklaying service, my dream is to have, all of this territory and get leads in and build all of these houses, and everyone would go, oh wow, I feel really connected to Barry, I want to build a great website for him to help him fulfill his dreams. And you bring everyone along. What I want to teach you is how to do that without bringing everyone to Barry, which is leadership. So if you can use the language to tell his story, to explain the purpose of what they're doing and get that across to them in a way that's moving, you don't need Barry there, you need you. So that would be a really great outcome for you guys, to be able to just bring that level of impact and inspiration to your team. So they go, yeah, I'm absolutely going to buy in and commit to this because I can see what you've got in your head. It's about that vision level of telling a story and explaining what the big picture is, and then letting people go off and do the details and do it with pride and purpose. How does that sit?
Yeah, sounds good in theory.
Sounds good in theory? It's language. It really is. And that's what we're here to discuss today. It's about how you use your words and your language to bring people along with you. That's leadership. Is it anything else?
I don't know, probably not, maybe not.
Can you think of anything else?
No.
Good. So that's what it is. Trust me, I've done this before. It really is your language that you use to bring people along on a journey. That's the art of storytelling, and it's the art of leadership, to be able to get your message across in a way that moves people. You've got a bunch of people that have to come together to rally around and achieve a great outcome. It's up to you guys to be able to bring them along and do so gracefully.
With the example that you gave of the building the Lego robot.
Yeah, it was a study. Yeah, there's lots of them. Yeah.
That's something that we can also do. It's something that I try and do with my teams when I'm getting them to do pretty much any work, is to keep them focused on how their contribution has made a positive difference. I follow up with them and let them know that the good work that they've done has resulted in this client being more successful, being able to deliver better quality things, or being able to get big contracts, or whatever the outcome was. And communicating that to the team so that they feel like
they make a difference.
It's worthwhile, yes.
That's the biggest thing. Like, to have a happy life, you need to feel like you belong and be loved, feel like you matter, and feel like what you do in your work makes a difference. That is such an amazing point. And as far as bringing along your team and keeping that way, yeah. Is there a system you can set up so you follow up with people that are involved in a project and say, this thing that you helped build, this is the result of it. It's now doing this.
There is actually something, I did suggest it a long while back, but it's one of those ones, an idea that didn't quite...
Because there's no system to support it.
Yeah.
What was the idea?
You know how we've got the quarterly updates and the half-yearly meeting? That was going to be about the result, the outcomes. And at the time we were focusing mainly on how we could translate that into more sales. But it's also important to get the success story there. And also testimonials we're trying to get.
Yeah, and celebrate it, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can I just ask the group we have, what do you think it gives someone working on a project at whatever level when they celebrate and they see the effect of their work? How do you think they feel?
One thing we do is every time we get a written testimonial, I send it to all at EXA, copy of the testimonial, everyone who's recorded who worked in the team, although sometimes there might be people who've worked on it that they don't show up in the CRM or in EP. Sort of look, if you've got others everybody involved, but also all these people that have clearly made a significant contribution. And the feedback I've had from that is definitely people are very inspired by that. Right back to even the telemarketer who set that appointment. They love that, you know. The flow through from setting appointment to a salesman going there, to the project getting built, to the site going live, to the client getting the result, to them doing the video and saying, you know, what we did for them. It can be a long period of time. And I know that particularly the telemarketers, when I was over there in Mumbai, saying that really love that when they see that.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody would enjoy that. Wouldn't you feel good when you get those testimonials? I send them around and you're the PM or whatever for it. Does it make you feel good? Not really, a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than kick up the others.
Yeah. Well, look, everyone on earth needs a purpose, and that's what motivates people, really. We're talking about inspiring and impacting and influencing people because that's leadership. That's it. If you can do that really, really well, you can command a team to do amazing things. You can bring them together, and you know, it's like you're not even there. It's like you come in, you tell a wonderful story, you explain the outcome and everything, and you go do stuff, and it comes together. Your ability to use a small amount of time to address a group, go away and come back, and the thing's built like you explained, that's your success as a project leader.
Well, you didn't explain.
Or yeah, even if it's better than you explained, that's a benchmark of excellence there.
I think that's truer. I don't know if this may cause some conflict here.
I love conflict. Let's rock.
But I think that's actually what you've said is truer than what you know, because I think our capacity to project manage is actually quite limited because we have the team leader and the lead developer. And I think our main role to get a project well done is really in the planning stage. I think it's quite difficult to actually project manage to the true sense. We really hand that off to the team leader, and we just hope that they're going to do it right. And we do come in now and then, we've got updates to sort of get an overview, but because of the distance and that sort of thing, it really is quite difficult.
It's a bit like you're the architect in a building project, really more than the builder.
We're not
the building company.
I guess we are more the architect, and then the team leader is more the foreman on the job.
Yeah.
And we can't be there every day. It's their job to be there every day. So project manager isn't really quite correct.
Project leadership?
Yeah, I think that's more apt. So
because
the leadership.
Leadership sits in this why, the environment. That's where leadership sits. Management sits in halfway between systems and structure and that I word, implementation. So halfway between the system and the job, that's management. Leadership exists in this big picture outcome. And we're going to do an example of that today. I'm going to show you guys how to do this with language. Would that be cool to share that?